people bring up like you have to have everything planned out in order for a show to work. And you look at Breaking Bad, which Vince Gilligan admits, like, we didn't know what the gun was for. We didn't know what this was for. But also Breaking Bad is made in this era of 10, 13 episode seasons. Not only did you guys have to come up with that story, you were doing it on network television where every single episode, as you said, was do or die. You could get canceled. But you're doing 24, 25 episodes a season, which for some shows now is like 3 seasons worth of story.
That's like the entire duration of The Leftovers. We did
Yeah.
we did
Yeah.
28 episodes of that. So that's just 3 more than season 1 of Lost.
Yeah, and so that's why I think the show works really well. But that's why I think it's so fascinating. You guys were one of the first shows, if not the first show, to negotiate that endpoint, to go to ABC and say, like, we need to end, and we need to know where the end is, and we need to know we need a shorter amount of episodes per season. And I was curious from your perspective. I think the deal was you got 3 additional seasons. Was that as the amount that you wanted, or did you guys want to end it sooner? I know all this happened during season 3.
I'm not trying to be diplomatic. I'm trying to give you the most accurate answer the way that I remember it, which is the conversations about wanting the show to end began as early as the pilot. You know, like one of the notes that we were just getting back from ABC was, you know, when are you going to resolve these mysteries? And once you resolve these mysteries, why are people going to keep watching the show? And level 1 of that was, well, we're going to be introducing new mysteries as we go. So hopefully for everyone that we answer, we've left a new compelling mystery, set up a new compelling mystery. And if we get that balance right, they're not going to stack up. I think that we can both agree that we did not get that balance right. But it's sort of like as you go. So if you look at Twin Peaks, for example, which is my favorite show of all time, and arguably the second season is not that great, but they by the time they revealed who killed Laura Palmer, they hadn't laid the seed on any other compelling mysteries to keep people engaged in the show. Even though I was still much more interested in the Black Lodge and all the crazy shit that was happening around Laura Palmer's murder. But for people who were just like watching the show to have that question answered, there was really nothing in its wake. So Lost was like, okay, like what's in the hatch? What's up with the monster? You know, who's the original Sawyer? How did Locke get in the wheelchair? You know, like, what is the nature of the island? Is it why does it appear to be moving? Who are the others? Like, so there were all these compelling mysteries, and so we were saying we want to have this stuff answered by the end of season 1, and this stuff answered by the end of season 2, and then the show basically ends after about 3 years. That was the initial pitch, and they were not even hearing it. They looked at particularly me, and Carlton came on about midway through season 1, and he joined the chorus of me. But they were just like, do you understand how hard it is to make a show that people want to watch? And people like the show, so why would we end it? You don't do that. Like, you don't end shows that people are watching. And so we got all the way to the end of season 2, and then tried to formalize the conversation again. And that at that point, it was formal because Carlton and I both had 2-year deals that ended after season 2. And so we were now negotiating for the future of the show. And they thought that they were in a monetary negotiation where it was like we were trying to get more money. And all we were trying to get was for them to agree to end the show. And so neither side blinked. And so we agreed to sign a 1-year extension, Carlton and I, with the understanding that we'd be leaving at the end of the 3rd season and someone else would be running the show. And right at that same time, Alias had ended. So Lost absorbed a number of the fantastic Alias writers, including Drew Goddard, who had already written some episodes of Lost in the 2nd season. Jeff Pinkner, who's incredible, was going to kind of be the heir apparent for season 3. But all this time, when ABC would be like, why do you want to end the show? We were like, these flashbacks are finite. You know, you can do like 3 flashbacks of Jack getting drunk and like being self-destructive, or Charlie relapsing, or Kate running away from the marshal that is chasing her. But ultimately, that stuff, the first one feels like an origin story because you're learning about that person for the very first time. But all the other ones feel like you're just kind of treading water. So we're going to have to switch gears at it. We can introduce new characters who have new flashback stories, but people are invested in the old ones. So we're seeing we're seeing about 8 chess moves ahead, and it ain't going to end pretty. And they just didn't agree with us. The beginning of season 3 happens. Those 6 episodes air because ABC decides that they're going to split the season into 2 parts. They'll air 6 episodes, basically like from October to December, and then they'll resume again with episodes 7 through 21 or whatever it was in the spring, because the reruns weren't working and there was a lot of confusion as to when the show was on and when the show was off. After those 6 episodes aired of season 3, they finally understood. And we were not phoning it in or trying to spike the show. We always did our best. But it became clear that we were working so hard to keep the characters on the island. And it was starting to be immensely frustrating. And the flashbacks weren't good anymore. And other than the addition of Michael Emerson as a regular, and Ian Cusick as a regular, and Adewale and Michelle Rodriguez and Cynthia Watros, the tail section. Some of that stuff was working, but all the other stuff wasn't. And then they finally came to the table and we had a real conversation about okay, so they were like, we have agreed to let you end the show. And I was like, I can't believe I'm hearing these words, because not only them, but my own agents were saying this is never going to happen. And I was like, I just said to Steve McPherson, thank you. Thank you. This is what's best for the show. And he was like, and then he said, we were thinking 10 seasons. You can end it after 10 seasons. And mind you, we're halfway through season 3. So I'm like, first off, how do you think we're even going to get to 10? And that's really the same as saying we're not going to let you end the show, because how many drama series even get to 10 seasons? And I was like, I was thinking more like 4. And not because I was in a negotiation, but because we had actually already worked out the Oceanic 6 story to some degree, where we knew that a number of characters were going to get off the island. They were going to have a very miserable time when they were off the island, and then they were going to come back for the big finale, and we felt like we could kind of do that, and starting in the back half of season 3, and then have one more season 4, which would have been a full season of television, 20 some odd episodes to do it all. And they were like, how about 9? And I was like, okay. So the agreement was we landed on 6 with less episodes to give us more time in between seasons to sort of plan things out. And then, of course, the 4th season was cut short by the writer's strike. But everything else kind of went relatively according to design. Not to say that everything that we did worked, but we had a plan and then we executed that plan.